Part of our coaches conversation now for the 2024 North Dakota Lions All-Star Basketball Series from Fargo Davies. She's the head coach, Tonah Safranski, for one more go around here representing the Eagles. And for you, Tonah, to be part of this Lions All-Star Basketball Series, I know you're kind of a basketball junkie like a lot of those who've been around North Dakota and know what this All-Star Series is all about. So what does it mean for you to now be kind of on that coaching side here one more time and one last time representing the Eagles?
Yeah, the Lions event's always a pretty cool event for the girls. The Lions do a fantastic job, getting everything set up for the week and hosting everything and keeping the girls entertained. And it's just a neat way to have the seniors, kind of get one last high school event in, and just a neat thing to do to cap off their careers as well.
And there's been a lot of really good Fargo Davies Eagles being represented on the girls basketball program throughout the years. Obviously, you're going to be there. Your daughter Ashton's going to be there one more time too. So what does that mean to have that that mother-daughter combination going back one more time before she officially goes to MSUM? And you can kind of hang back and be in the stands as a mother from that point of view here, Tonah.
Yeah, it's obviously always fun and special to do that. Looking at the roster that we have is, I'm super excited to get to work with these fantastic athletes that are on this roster. So I think that will be a lot of fun as well. Just trying to, work to everybody's strengths and abilities and get them to bond as a group in only a short couple days that we have to practice. But I think it's going to be super fun working with this group.
When you take a look at the roster, Tonah, was there someone from the East or someone from the West from a player standpoint that you're like, finally, I don't have to worry about scouting you. You're finally on my team for a change. Did someone kind of come to mind from the cross represent that you did this year with the more non-conference games? Obviously, who you saw at state, was there one or two players that kind of came to mind from you?
Honestly, looking at them, all of them. They all were, fantastic players on their teams, and just throughout the state. Every single one on the roster, we game plan to run our defense around. So they're all very, very great basketball players, and I'm glad we're all on the same team this last go around.
What does the game of basketball? What has it meant to you and your family here, Tonah?
It's just something that we do, and a big part of it. But I don't know. It's just something that we all love, and we're watching basketball all the time. We're excited to watch the Olympics coming up here in a few weeks, and it's just a special part of us.
Have you had the driveway or go to Courts Plus or, somewhere and like do a game of pig or horse or do a 2-on-2 or, make it keep it up to 21? Has that been something you guys have kind of done? Or is it, hey, you know what? Let's work on the fundamentals. I know you guys are gonna, be able to be really good shooters and stuff of that nature. How do you kind of balance that with the family aspect?
Sean and I did that. We did both of those things, but, lately, as they've gotten a little older and gotten a lot better, we've stayed away from the 2-on-2 stuff. Maybe a little bit more horse and stuff like that. But no, we do a lot of stuff in the gym together and have for a long time. So
as you go from this standpoint here, Tonah, some of the questions that I've asked the players has been, what has been your, favorite one or two basketball memories that stand out, whether it was high school or maybe it was them, in a traveling tournament or somewhere in between. So same question to you. What's been some favorite basketball memories that kind of just stick out, a number one or a number two in your mind here, Tonah?
I think both winning state as a player, and then obviously winning as a coach, but also just probably the friendships that have been made throughout having basketball bring us together. Even as a player, a lot of the girls that I played on the Lions team with in the Lions game, I still talk to today. And same thing with, high school teammates and those friendships, coaching friendships. Those are all probably the highlights, I would say.
Yeah, And it's something that you kind of alluded to, which was coming up was I remember saying, it's kind of interesting talking with coaches who've been a player in an all-star event, but also now are able to coach it. So what's going to be the message? Because sometimes you get a coach who's maybe not from the state of North Dakota that comes here, or maybe different areas, or just hasn't been able to be part of an all-star game like this. So going through it, Tonah, what do you hope that the players kind of get for these, 4 or 5 days together, coming together and then, kind of going to their separate journeys once, they kind of get to August and, college starts up. So what do you hope that the players kind of get from your own personal experience going through the Lions All-Star Series?
Well, I think going from being rivals to teammates and friends is probably a big thing, and something that they may not get it now, but in a few years they'll get that, where they're like, wow, that's pretty cool that we're now friends, and a lot of them are friends. Back in my day, we were not. We were rivals. We didn't talk to the other team. That. So things are a little different nowadays with social media and how they all kind of know each other all the time. But and AAU has kind of changed that a little bit too. But I just think having that, building that friendship within their teammates that that they've played against for 4 or 5 years or maybe even longer, and continuing to keep in touch years later is something that is, it's beyond the game of basketball.
Yeah, without question. And another question that I normally would ask some of the players would be, superstitious. Some of them had to listen to a certain song or go to Jimmy John's or Starbucks before a game and have the same thing. From a coach's perspective, Tonah, as a head coach or your coaching staff, were you guys superstitious at all? Or was it, all right, let's just get to the game in one piece. Let's make sure everyone is healthy as best they can be. Let's make sure we got the, right numbers in the scorebook, and then let's just go play. So were you ever superstitious as a coach?
Yeah, we may have had to eat at the same place every night at the state tournament last year. Pregame I think was always in the same spot, but I think maybe not as much superstitious as more of just creating a routine that we kind of always got in. But I may have had a few things that I would call were a little bit routine. We'll call it that.
And for you now, kind of moving forward, what are you most looking forward to? Just watching both your daughters with Taylor and Ashton playing, over at Moorhead, one at Concordia, one at MSUM. What are you and the family most looking forward to? Because I'm sure you've kind of looked at the schedule and seen where's travel A and where's travel B, and how you kind of can be there for both. But what are you most looking forward to from that point of view here, Tonah?
Just being able to watch them play and support them. I honestly think that the schedule is busier than just coaching the Davies team. But so it'll be interesting to try to work it so we can get to both. But we may have to divide and conquer a little bit, but as much as we can, just to be there for them and their teammates and watch them play.
Final thing for me, Tonah, for you, what's the one thing that you hope people kind of take away from your time at Fargo Davies? I know you're still going to be part of it. You're still going to have family members or those on the coaching staff that I'm sure you're probably going to talk with and talk about practice plans, or just maybe just in general what a travel day to Grand Forks kind of entails for some folks. But what do you hope that people kind of took away from the program during your tenure?
Ooh, I don't know. It's a good question, Jace. I don't know, just that, I cared a lot about it. Yeah.
It's one of those things where I know it's emotional, knowing that it's the catch-22, but also fun to know that you're going to be part of Fargo Davies a couple more games here and see if AA, new season, AA versus A versus B. I know A versus B last year was quite a house at both Fargo South and Bismarck High. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the sidelines one more time here, Tonah. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you shortly.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Part of our 2024 North Dakota Lions All-Star Basketball preview with our player profile, brought to you in part by the Hillsboro EDC. She is Jersey Berg from Bismarck High. Jersey, let's start there. What does it mean for you to get nominated to an All-Star game like this in North Dakota?
Yeah, obviously huge. I mean, my dad, he was the Lions All-Star, so that means a lot just for the family, too, to do something that my dad did, too. It's cool to be able to play with people I usually have to play against, and kind of relief, too. I don't want to play against them anymore. They're too good. But, yeah, so it's a big deal for me. There's a lot of history, and I'm excited. It's always been a dream of mine. When I was little, I'd go watch these games all the time, and now I get to play in one. It means so much to me.
You mentioned the dad factor, the family factor with that. At what point did you think that, hey, you know what? I think I can play in something similar to what my dad did. At what age group were you kind of Jersey going, I think, basketball, this is something I want to do. And this is, a goal of mine to try to maybe get to, something like this.
Yeah, obviously my dad's career, I mean, that's hard to beat. I knew I wasn't going to be exactly who my dad was, but that's always been a goal. And my dad's been my biggest inspiration too. So I guess it wasn't like I knew I was going to do this. It was like what I wanted to work towards, I'd say, more so than, I know I'm on my dad's level, because I'm not on my dad's level. But like, I just wanted to do as much as I could that would kind of reflect his career too, because I've just always looked up to it so much more than anyone else.
You've had a couple of Bismarck High Demons who've been able to play in this particular event in the last few years as well. What does it mean to also have a teammate or two be nominated with you this final hurrah, so to speak, with your high school career?
Yeah, so, I mean, the last couple of years, people have been nominated from BHS. That's so cool, too, to know that I've played with girls who are good enough to be playing at that level with all the best players in North Dakota. And this year, playing with two more of them, I mean, it's amazing, especially to have a 3-on-1 team. That just means a lot to the program, too. And we also get to play at BHS one more time, so that's super exciting, too. Senior night wasn't our last night, so that's really exciting, too. I'm just looking forward to it. One more time at BHS, one more time with those teammates, which is sad, but I'm going to enjoy it as long as I can.
When you saw the rosters get announced, was there a particular athlete or someone who you had to guard or someone from travel ball that you never officially had on your team for school ball jersey? Was there someone that you said, one or two players, you're like, all right, finally you're on my side for a change?
Well, from the West, I mean, I pretty much played with every single person from the West, so I'm obviously excited to get back with them. But the East, I mean, Jossie Shetler, she's unreal. And I remember playing against her like earlier this season, and she did this crazy like spin move thing, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, in the game, I was like, Jossie, that was so nice. I'm not even gonna lie. So just that. And then obviously Carly Franks, Ashton Safranski, I mean, they're amazing too. Playing against them in the state title game, that was crazy. They're such talented players. And watching the semifinal game against Red River, I mean, Jossie, Ashton, Carly, they all had crazy games. So I'm excited to play with them. And then there's some girls I don't know too well from the East, but I'm excited to meet them, hopefully grow some friendships. But yeah.
From there, basketball, softball, any sport that you kind of grew up, Jersey, what's a favorite sports memory or two that comes to mind, whether you were a fan, a player, or just something in between?
Yeah, well, for softball, obviously, I mean, favorite, my sophomore year we won state, so that's obviously a top memory for me. But basketball, I'd say this whole senior year has just been so unreal. I can honestly say, like, I've never been closer to a team in my life, and still now we hang out. I think this weekend we're watching a movie at my house. Like, it's going to be awesome. And then, like, I remember we go to Chick-fil-A, like, the night before, like, every game, which is so unhealthy. But, we needed that team bonding. And then we'd, like, watch movies at my house every weekend during the season. And it's just crazy. Like, I think that was part of our success a lot, because a lot of people didn't think, we had the best talent. And, maybe that's true. But I think the way we helped each other and we're always there for each other, like, allowed for us to be comfortable on the court. And that's what I love the most. And it's my favorite memory, just always being with the team all the time. Yeah, just my whole senior season has been the best time of my life.
Kind of goes into the next question. Was Chick-fil-A like a ritual? Was that like something you had to do? I always ask players, you have to put the left shoe on before the right or listen to a certain song. Did Chick-fil-A become like a pregame ritual a little bit, Jersey, along the way?
I mean, definitely a little bit. I know me and Paige would be like, oh, well, we beat this team, so now we have to eat it the next game or whatever. But then we'd play bad and we'd be like, we're not getting Chick-fil-A this time. So there was a couple times where we didn't get Chick-fil-A, but we can't say no to Chick-fil-A most of the time. So it wasn't necessarily like a superstition, but there were games where we played really good and we were like, oh, we had Chick-fil-A the night before, so then we'd get it again. But
from this point, Jersey, when you take a look at, where you were at 13, 14 years old, or someone who's, at that age wanting to make a mark on the program, trying to get to the varsity level, what would be some words of advice for someone who wants to be an all-stater or all-conference or play in an all-star game like this, like you are, Jersey? What would be some words of advice from your own journey that you'd like to pass down?
Yeah, I would say you got to work so hard to where you don't have regrets. I know right now, I obviously have regrets. Like, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. And that's going to happen all the time. But if you work as hard as you can, there's not much you can regret. There's very little you can regret. And that's kind of my whole mindset is, like, if you work as hard as you possibly can all the time in everything you do, you can't regret too much. And like, that's the worst feeling, is regretting something, knowing you could have done something better. And that's what sucks. But if you work as hard as you can, you're like, oh, I did what I could, and it just, maybe this was an off day, maybe it just wasn't your day. But as long as you tried as hard as you can, there's little you can regret. So that's mainly my advice. And be a good teammate always. Treat everyone as your friend, because they are all your friend. And in the end, they're going to be who's there for you, your teammates. They're always going to be there. They're built-in family, basically.
And the one thing on top of that too, moving forward, when we recorded this interview, you're undecided in terms of where you're going, but you want to play collegiate basketball, collegiate softball. What made those two sports be two sports that you really enjoyed and wanted to have a chance to play at the next level here, Jersey?
Yeah, well, right now those are the only sports I'm doing. So yeah, but I used to play a bunch of sports, and I stuck with softball because I love the defensive aspect of softball. I love the team aspect. I think softball is more of like a social sport, which kind of sounds bad, but I think with softball, I'm going to have such a good built-in family too there. Same with basketball, and I love basketball because of how hard I get to work and stuff like that, and I love softball because of the team aspect and how supportive people are of each other. And so once I started, talking to colleges, all that stuff, I wanted to play basketball for sure. Like, that was my number one, like, I want to play basketball. But from my experience my sophomore year of softball and my whole high school experience through softball and like my travel team and stuff like that, I realized like I can't not play softball. And that's another thing. I want to play as many sports as I can for as long as I can, because you don't get to play organized sports forever. And I'm grateful for what I have right now, but I'm hoping I can keep it going. So yeah.
Final thing for you, Jersey, what do you hope to take from your coaches that you've learned, moving to that next level? What's one thing on the field, so to speak, on the court or even off the court that you hope to take with you once you get to your classes or just, the next chapter in life?
Well, for me, I think the best thing a coach can give you is not advice, anything like that. It's just them believing in you. And I can honestly say every single coach I've had has believed in me. And that's such a big thing for me that's going to allow me to succeed in life. And it's allowed for me to get better as a player, better as a person, just knowing that they're there for me and they believe in me and they expect a lot from me. Like, they'll yell at me, all this stuff, but it's because they believe in me, and I got to keep that in mind. But that's like the main thing here is like, I need to believe in all my teammates, all my friends, else they're not going to feel that. Like, I need to reciprocate energy I get from my coaches and give it to all my teammates, and that's how they're going to succeed, and that's how I'm going to succeed more, is just spreading that energy all around the team. And that's my main thing with coaches, is just like a belief thing. I'm not going to agree with everything my coaches think, but I'm going to listen to them because I know they believe in me and I know this is what they think is best for the team. So I'm going to do whatever they want me to do, really.
Jersey, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck moving forward, and we'll see you at the Lions All-Star basketball game.
Thank you for having me.
Teagan Erbele joins us right now. Thanks, Teagan, for joining us here. And Teagan from Napoleon and played for Napoleon-Gackle-Streeter Imperials. And she's going to be playing on the All-Star team, the basketball All-Star Lions All-Star team in July 15th and 16th. And the 15th, it'll be in Bismarck. That's a Monday. And then the Tuesday in Fargo. So congrats again on making that team. And thanks for joining us here, Teagan. Give us your thoughts. What does this mean to you for making that Lions All-Star team?
Being on the Lions All-Star team is something that I had a goal of ever since I was younger. Remember, it was like in 6th grade, and my uncle coached for the South Border boys at the time, and a few of his players made the team. So my family went down and we all watched them play. And it was then that I was like, wow, this is really cool. That would be so cool if I could be on this when I'm older. And so I kind of always had it in the back of my mind to want to make the team. So it's really cool that I was able to do that.
Okay, awesome. What players are you excited to have on your team and be playing, side by side?
Right. Well, for my season this year, most of the girls on my team were actually in junior high. We had a very, very small team this year. And so first of all, I'm just excited to play with girls my own age for a change, and girls that are on the same skill level or above as me. So that's really exciting. But the one name that really stands out to me is Matea Mather, because me and her have been both playing varsity in the same region since 8th grade. And we've always been playing against each other. And she's a really, really good player that I respect a lot. So I'm really excited to finally be on the same side, wearing the same jersey as her, not opposing team. So that'll be really fun.
Okay, good deal. Now you play forward, center. Give us maybe some of the things that you like playing about, your position.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an aggressive spot, and I'm not overly tall. I'm only 5'8". So it's a position that has allowed me to develop a really good footwork game. I've gotten really good at just, guarding the ball and just using my body and the smaller size that I have just to kind of find the open spaces and get really creative with scoring that way. So that's been able to help my all-around game. But yeah, just being a smaller post, I've kind of had to develop a different kind of style than most centers play. So I kind of more of like a fadeaway shot type thing. But I'm really excited to get to go in and play against girls who are really good passers and are really good shooters. So some kick-out spots should be open, and I'm excited for that.
Give us some advice, or something that you've learned from your coaches over the year. Your uncle being your coach, and you already mentioned him already. So, what has he told you, and how is he that, the stuff that he said is going to help you in the future?
Yeah. I think with all sports, kids always learn so much, and that's a huge goal of high school sports, is to teach kids life lessons. And one thing, this is the first year that my Uncle Paul coached us, so I only had him for 1 year. But one thing that he always did every practice was he had a quote of the day. And so he had a very life approach to coaching, and he always was trying to teach us more than just basketball itself, which is something that I really appreciated. And a lot of the things that he would teach us helped us just with life in general. He always told us to have the perspective on of how this is such an opportunity to get to go out there and play the game of basketball. He said, tomorrow's game day. Just remember, it's an opportunity, it's a privilege to get to put on the jersey and represent your school and go out there and play as a team. So he always wrapped in that side of things, and he always talks about how it's a team and it's we before me. And that's something that's really important for anyone to know, whether you're in the workplace or continuing playing sports or anything. Life is never just about you, and you can't get as far if you're looking on just yourself as you can if you're focusing on the team. And so that's something that we've learned a lot with him as our coach. And also with sports, I think you learn a lot of controlling what you can control and not letting your emotions control you, because there's so many things that you can't control in the game of basketball. And, it really just, in life, the game of life, there's so many things that are happening outside of your control. And so he taught us to focus on what we can control and don't let our emotions get to us when there's things that we can't control.
Awesome. That's awesome. Give us your favorite sports memory of all time.
Oh, there's so many good ones, which is so great to say. But I have to say my favorite memory of all time would be my junior season. It was the district tournament, and our team was playing Linton in the semifinal round. And there was 15 seconds left. We were in overtime. There was 15 seconds left, and we were down by 2. And one of my teammates, who's not typically a shooter for us, she launches up a corner 3 and she cashes it. So we're up by 1. And by this point, there's 10 seconds left, and Linton comes down the court, and they hit a 3. Okay, so then we're down. And that there's 4 seconds left now, and so my one teammate just comes storming up the court, and she just pulls up right at around the circle at the half-point line. So it's a deep, deep 3. And then the clock is just going down. It's 3, 2, 1, and just swish. And so in the game with no time left, so within those last 10 seconds, we scored, they scored, we were down, and then we ended up scoring, and we won in overtime right at the buzzer, and that sent us to the district championship. So that was such a cool moment. It was such a highlight for us, and actually went on to ESPN top 10 and Sports Center top 10, and it was just it was everywhere. You're seeing clips of it everywhere. So that was so surreal and so awesome for us. That's the moment.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep. So plans, what do you got planned this fall? Going to college, and what are you studying and everything?
Yeah, I'll be going to NDSU this fall. I'm going to study agriculture education and animal science there. And then also in a few weeks, state convention for FFA is happening, and I'm going to be running for a state office position there. So if I get elected, I'll be doing that throughout my freshman year of college too.
All right, good deal. Give us, some advice for the younger players that you can help them with sports and everything.
Yeah. Well, the biggest advice I would have right away is just work hard. A lot of people have goals. They see someone who's successful and they think, I want to do that, similar to how I saw the Lions All-Star game when I was young and thought, I want to do that. And it takes hard work to get to those points. And sometimes you're going to be the only one who's working hard, and you just have to stay motivated and just keep working hard and never lose sight of why you started and what you're working for. But then outside of that is just always have fun. High school sports, you get to play once. It's 4 years of your life, and it's not meant to be a pressurized place. It's not, it's for fun. So never work too hard where you don't have fun, but find that balance of working hard for your goals and staying committed, but also having a fun time while you do it.
Best class in high school?
I actually liked a lot of classes. I would say my favorite, I really enjoyed science. I took chemistry this year, and I actually really enjoyed that class. And then, of course, being a FFA kid, a farm kid, I always liked my shop classes too.
Okay. All right. One more question before we let you go here, Teagan. Give us maybe a favorite pregame meal or song that got you pumped for the big game.
Yeah. My two favorite songs that were always 100% going to be played in the locker room were John Wall, Do the John Wall, and Magic. Those are two of my favorites. And then for pregame meals, my coaches gave me the nickname of Fruit Girl because I would always just eat like a banana or an apple or orange or something on the bus because my stomach I just would get too like nervous for the game or just too energized that I could never eat a big meal. So I just had like a banana or something was always my pregame meal, which probably isn't the best, but that's what I rolled with. So.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks, Teagan, for joining us here. We appreciate it. And good luck at the Lions All-Star Game, July 15th and 16th. And good luck in future endeavors and at NDSU and everything. So,
yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yep, you bet.
Right now, we're glad to be joined by Tesa Olson. And Tesa is from Valley City, and she plays there for the Highlanders on the basketball team. And this summer, she's going to be playing on the basketball All-Star team for the Lions Basketball All-Stars, and that's July 15th and 16th. And Tesa, thanks for joining us here. We appreciate it, and congrats on making that All-Star team. We'll talk about that here shortly and your future plans. So I guess let's get right into it. What does this mean to you for making the All-Star game this summer?
It means a lot. It just feels really special because it shows how far I've gotten, and I've also always wanted to be on the All-Star, be in the All-Star game.
Okay. Give us your favorite sports memory of all time.
Probably my favorite sports memory was this year when my team, Valley City, got to go to the state tournament, and we haven't been in a very long time. And it was my senior year, and I just got to spend it with all my teammates because they're like family to me.
All right, good deal. Give us your plans for the fall. Where are you going? What are you taking up?
I'm going to Dakota Wesleyan University in Mitchell, South Dakota, and I'm going to be majoring in athletic training and then be minoring in coaching.
Okay, we got any sports in the fall too?
Oh, yes. Not in the fall, but over the winter, basketball, of course.
Okay, playing hoops. All right, good deal. Give us some of the things you've learned from your coaches over the years that'll help you, in the fall.
I've learned that you got to work to what you want. Not everything comes easy, and you just have to go for what you want, and so you can succeed.
And how about teammates, that you're going to be playing with the Lions basketball All-Stars? Who are you looking forward to playing with?
I'm looking forward to just playing with everyone. I've gotten the chance to play against a few of them. And then there's a few I gotten to play with, like Reagan Zerfus. A few years ago, I got to play with her on Indy Attack, AAU basketball throughout the summer. So, yeah.
All right, good deal. And give us some advice or your advice to the younger players, like your elementary, middle school, going to be playing varsity. What can you tell them?
You always got to have confidence. Don't get down on yourself. You're going to make mistakes through practices or games. You just got to push past them and learn from them.
All right, awesome. Best class in high school?
I think it might have to be my health careers class up at the Cheyenne Area Career and Vo-Tech Center. It was a class, a school next to our school, and I had a teacher named Megan, and she would always help a student or just care for us, whatever we needed. So.
Okay, Tesa, one more question before we let you go here. Give us your favorite pregame meal or pregame song that gets you ready for the big game.
Pregame meal. Sometimes it can be a hot dog. Mainly pickles because I like to my legs like to cramp a lot, so I'll usually have a pickle before a game. And song might have to be "Dancing in the Dark." I think it's by Rihanna. So. Yeah.
All right, good deal. Well, thanks so much, Tesa. We appreciate it, and thanks for taking time and joining us here. And good luck at the Lions All-Star basketball games this summer in July 15th and 16th, and good luck in college as well.
Thank you.
Kai Thomas joins us right now on yourliveevent.com, and we're highlighting the basketball Lions All-Star games that are coming up July 15th and 16th. The 15th will be at Bismarck High, and the 16th at Fargo Davies. And Kai Thomas from Williston Trinity Christian is on the team from Division A and B, from Division B for Williston Trinity Christian. Thanks, Kai, for joining us here, and congratulations on making the team. And we'll talk about your future plans and everything, what you all got planned this fall. But first, what does this mean to you to make this Lions basketball all-star team?
I'm super grateful for the opportunity to play with a bunch of other talented guys. Super grateful for my coaches and teammates who have pushed me throughout the years to get better every single day at practice. And I'm really excited to play with all these guys.
Okay, you're listed as guard forward. Give us some things that you like best about playing your position in hoops.
I really like to shoot the ball. That's like one of my favorite things. So I'm always on the shooting machine, like as much as I can, trying to get shots up. And I also like to get down low a little bit, and I also like to try to drive past people whenever I can and just expose any mismatches that other teams. When other teams put smaller guys on me, I like to try to take them down low.
All right, good deal. Give us some things that you've learned from your coaches over the years that'll help you on the Lions All-Star game and, in college and future too.
Yeah, they taught me a lot of discipline, self-discipline. So not really focusing too much on what everybody else is doing, just on the things that I can control, not getting mad, keeping my cool, that kind of thing. It's really helped me keep my composure throughout the years. So I'm really grateful for them.
Give us your favorite sports memory of all time.
My favorite sports memory would probably, it's a tough question. Probably winning the district championship with my team. It was just a great celebration. All the hard work paid off. So that was probably my favorite.
Okay, so what do you got planned in the fall? What college, playing sports? What do you got going on?
I'm planning on going to Sweden to Holsby Bible College. So I'm planning on just growing spiritually there. Starts in September, goes until March, and then I'm also gonna try out for their basketball team.
Okay, awesome. Give us some advice that you can give to future players that are maybe in middle school and high school in the coming years here.
Just take it one day at a time. Do as much as you can in the day. Not take any time for granted that you have, because it's gone pretty fast. The 3 years that I've had playing at Williston Trinity Christian, they've flown by. So just taking it one day at a time and being grateful for all your teammates, coaches, recognizing everything that they're doing for you and trying to pay that back to them, and just make sure you use your time wisely.
Best class in high school?
My favorite class would probably have to be, it's a tough one. I really liked physics class. It was a great teacher, great classmates that I had in that class, and a good curriculum. I liked it.
Okay, one more question before we let you go, Kai. Give us your favorite like pregame meal or song that got you pumped for the game coming up.
I like to listen to a lot of Lecrae before my games, a lot of Lecrae and NF before my games, and I don't like to eat too much. Usually, just a small snack, maybe a banana or something like that, something small and healthy that can get through the system quick.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks so much, Kai, for joining us here. We appreciate it, and good luck at the All-Star game this summer on July 15th and 16th, and good luck on your future endeavors as well this fall.
Thank you.
From the Bismarck High Demons join us here, part of the 2024 North Dakota Lions All-Star preview here from the coach's perspective, again from Bismarck High. He is Bill Shetler here. And Bill, for you to get part of this All-Star series from the coach's perspective, you have 3 players that are joining you as well. What does it mean from just the Bismarck High Demons girls basketball program here to, have another run with these particular players and kind of represent the program after a really good season?
Yeah, that's a special thing. So when we got to that state title game, the sting kind of wore off a little bit. And then a few of my friends were saying, hey, you probably get a coach in that Lions game. And I completely had forgotten about it. And I thought about that and I'm like, oh, sweet, we'll get that opportunity. And then I was thinking, hopefully we get one or two of those girls in there. And then once we got the announcement that Jersey and Paige had made it, and then that Rhea was an alternate and she was going to be in there, it's hard to describe what those three girls have meant to me and to our program for such a long time. I mean, Jersey and Paige has been a 4-year varsity girl. Jersey's been a 3-year varsity girl. Rhea's been a 3-year varsity girl. So, I mean, these girls have put in a lot of time, a lot of commitment, and they were just special players and special people. So to get the chance to coach them another time on our home floor, with all the other great players from across the state, it's going to be something that I'll cherish for a long time.
And kind of the follow-up question to that, you already kind of maybe answered it there, Bill, is how sweet was it when you got the announcement, you got the phone call, so to speak, to ask to be part of it, then all of a sudden you saw the roster that came out? Did that just kind of put the cherry on top on what was a really good season for Bismarck High girls basketball? Yeah,
and obviously it didn't quite end the way we wanted it to, but it was a special run. And, when you're a coach, you want your girls to be playing the best at the end of the year. And, we did that for a 2-week stretch of putting our best effort out there and, coming up with a pretty spectacular few games in the WDA and state tournament. So, and then just capping off that year, rewarding those 3 seniors for what they have done. And then just me getting to be along for the ride is a pretty cool thing too. So, it's going to be an awesome way to send those seniors off, finishing their high school career and sending them on to what's next.
For you, Bill, from the coach's perspective, I've asked some, softball coaches this already this summer and some volleyball coaches this. Are you going there as it's an opportunity to speak shop, so to speak? You can talk about certain drills, or how do you break a press? Or is this, you're just enjoying the game of basketball with some of the best athletes, senior athletes across the state? How are you going to utilize it from your perspective going into this All-Star series?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to try to, obtain as much as I possibly can. This is a new experience for me. I've never done it before. So obviously I want to just take it all in, and I want to, enjoy that moment, enjoy being in the process of this game, and enjoy the spectacular players that we're going to be able to coach and watch from the sidelines. And then obviously we're going to try to, talk some basketball stuff as well. And, with Tonah being done, she won't have to feel like she's giving away any secrets or anything like that. So I'll try to pick her brain as best as I can and try to do the same for her as well. But all in all, it's going to be an awesome week of basketball. It's going to be very enjoyable. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Some similar questions that I asked the players, but from the coach's perspective here, are you superstitious at all, or was your team or coaching staff superstitious at all, Bill, before games? And if so, what was maybe something you always had to do before you got to that varsity tip?
Yeah. So when I was a player, I was a lot more superstitious than I was as a coach. I'd wear, the same socks, and I'd wear the same wristband or whatever the case was. I'd go through my routine. Then as a coach, I started to get a little bit less superstitious, but during our state tournament run, one of my assistant coaches, Coach Hovland, Rich Hovland, he's been coaching for a long time, but so we never wear the same shirts or outfit or anything like that. That's not my staff. I just wear what they're comfortable in. And it just so happened that we both wore the same shirt on the first day of the state tournament. So, we played well, beat Horace in that game. And I looked to Hov and I said, hey, we're wearing these shirts again tomorrow. So then we wore them for the next day and pulled off that win against Minot. And I said, you're just going 3 days in a row. And those shirts kind of ran out of their magic, I guess, for that third one. But so that was probably the only superstitious thing that I did this year, and it got us 2 wins. So might have to look forward to doing a little more of that next year.
Whether it's the head coach of Bismarck High, something in between of your days as a playing day, I guess, what's a basketball memory or two that kind of sticks out when someone says the game of basketball to you, Bill? What's 1 or 2 memories that come to life or jump off the page, so to speak?
Yeah, basketball has been a huge part of my life for forever. My dad was my high school basketball coach. He coached all across South Dakota. So playing for him, getting to be a 4-year varsity player for him was a very special thing. You just kind of create that you have the father-son thing, but now you have the coach thing. And it was just a remarkable experience playing for him. And then when I got to go to Mary was another very, very special thing to me. And all the teammates and the friends that I have for the rest of my life was awesome. I do remember must have been my senior year at Mary. I hit a half court buzzer beater to beat Mayville State. And, that's something that kind of jumps out at you. And just being a high school kid playing in numerous all-star events. And with South Dakota, you got to play in a couple of them, and just having those memories of, man, I'm here with, the best of the best throughout the state are all things that you kind of look back on and you smile and you remember the good times. And hopefully that's what this week is going to be for me and also for all the young ladies that get to play.
For you, Bill, when you kind of go through the 3-class basketball system, I know there was a lot of questions, the 3 divisions, I guess the technical term for it this year, but going through it the first year, how was everything from your perspective? I know speaking with other coaches, especially at the top end, a lot of similar teams, maybe a little more crossover than maybe what you saw before, non-conference games, but how did everything go outside of the wins and losses, so to speak, of the first year of 3 divisions?
Yeah, from our end on that, the higher enrollment, there wasn't a whole lot of change. The exception was we didn't go to Watford City and we didn't go to Turtle Mountain. So, 2 of our longer bus trips were taken away, which isn't a bad thing on our end. And it was also kind of cool that we got to go out and play a few of those East teams right away. We played West Fargo and West Fargo Cheyenne. And the next weekend we went to Davies and Red River. So those are things we hadn't been able to do for 10 or so years, which was definitely a cool thing. And, with Minot North coming into the mix next year, we'll be out a couple other those games, but we're still going to go out to West Fargo and get a couple games there. So, from my end, it wasn't a whole lot of change. I liked it. I just think it's better for balance across basketball, getting the middle class. So some of those small schools don't have to, try to wrestle up those numbers. So, I was pretty happy with it. And I think anytime we can have more state tournaments is an awesome thing. There was a month straight where you got to turn on the TV and watch a bunch of really good high school basketball. And that was definitely a fun thing. So I think, from at least from my perspective, it was a successful first year.
Final thing for me, Bill, for you, just speaking about Paige, Jersey, and Rhea one more time, what do they best exemplify about your program that you like that they got nominated one more time and have a chance to represent Bismarck High? We alluded to it a little bit earlier, but what's the one thing about those 3 in particular that just kind of best exemplifies what BHS team and girls basketball is all about?
Yeah, it's, that's an easy thing is they're all really good players, but what really comes to my mind is family. And we try to preach that as much as we can, that, all these girls that play for me over the last 10 years, like they are, like, in a sense, my daughters. It's a year-round thing. We're going to summer camps where, they're coming to open gyms. We are kind of family, and there's not 3 better examples of that than the 3 young ladies that got to be selected here. Because, just from day one, they wrap everybody up in their arms and say, all right, you freshmen come into open gym. Here's what it is to be a Demon. Here's what it is to be a player in this program. And they've just set such a great example. And obviously their basketball skills have shown, but it's who they are as people, which has been, probably the more positive thing on our program, because it paved the way for other girls as well.
Bill, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the Lions All-Star Basketball Series and the rest of the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.